Leftovers.
Bro, welcome back to Movie Leftovers. I'm Angel.
I'm Daniel.
Let's go, dude. How are you?
I'm great, man. How are you doing today?
Fucking hyped. I'm so hyped. It's Donnie Brasco. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Such a good movie.
This was another really fun rewatch. I like. We did Men in Black. I was like, man, I forgot how much I like this movie. Same thing with Donnie Brasco. Popped open that stream, hit play. I was kind of cooking for a minute, then I just like kind of shut the stove off and sat there. I was glued. What a brilliantly cast, awesome movie, great story, dude. I'm excited for today, dude.
Yeah, great film. Originally came out in 97. Got a Rotten Tomatoes score 88% by the critics, 89% by general audiences. So pretty universally well loved film. Personally, I remember not liking it as much the first time around, way back in the 90s. But this time around, man, I was riveted. It was so good.
Yeah, I like Pacino's in kind of like my Mount Rushmore, but he like absolutely drilled this role. I think he was like 50 something years old when they shot this, but he's still on like just pitching 150 miles an hour in every scene. Yeah,
fantastic. I don't think he had costuming for the movie. I think he just showed up wearing whatever he was wearing
probably
that day.
What's in his closet. Absolutely right. Yeah.
They're like, we need you to dress like an old mob boss. He's like, oh, okay, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, 100%. Like when he's wearing that tracksuit, just lounging around in the house, that he just rolled out of his trailer.
I'm sure of it. That. Yeah. It's like, oh, I got this. He probably had extra stuff for other people to wear too.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Him and Michael Mann. Between the two of them. Yeah. There was no costume department for that movie.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was a super great rewatch. It was a great rewatch. So we're at 88% on the critics score. What did this box office do?
So box office wise, pretty successful little film. It had a budget of $35 million, but worldwide box office just made just under $125 million.
Yeah.
So pretty good rate of return on there. For those of you who don't know, Donnie Brasco, it's a film that came out in 1997. It's about a loosely true story about an FBI agent named Joe Pistone, who went undercover to infiltrate a New York crime family in the 1970s. He went under the alias Donnie Brasco. Donnie Brasco is played by Johnny Depp in this film. And Brasco's cover is that he's a jewel thief and gets in close with a crime family, and then from there proceeds on to break the case. This movie was also nominated for the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yep.
So that's cool. Yeah, you can definitely see it's a quality film. And it was put out by TriStar and Sony Pictures.
So where do we go from here? This one's interesting because it's based in true events. And I was telling you off air that what I kind of got lost in this after I watched the movie. I started chasing down Mafia podcasts, listening to Joe Pistone's story a little bit more, and like the basic premise that I get from it from a couple of sources, like article sources that I read, and then also from Pistone himself on several podcasts, was that it was about 85%.
He's actually talking now.
Yeah. About 85% of that was true. So
yeah,
which is a wide margin now. Obviously, like that means that was pretty savage what was going on back then when he was in there, even though they Hollywoodized it a little bit, if that's remotely close to true. So it kind of puts a little historical perspective on like, wow, times were a lot different. Like just people getting away with thug shit like that is not like it is today. This was before DNA. This was before CSI, friends. Like you can't do that.
Like, I mean, there were straight up murders. There was like there was one of the big things that these crime families were doing was taking just giant truckloads of merchandise and then just flipping it.
Yeah.
They would just steal the trucks and flip it. And like, I saw something where they were making like almost $5 million a year just doing that. Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
Like, especially for, I mean, adjusted cost of inflation back then. Now that's a lot of money. Back then, that was a tremendous amount of money. So
right. It was insane how much they were making.
Right.
And what they were getting away with. I saw some of those same things that you watched. I saw a few other things too. I even got an article up right now. Let's see, who's the article by resence.org, and it has fact or fiction that what the movie left out. Of Donnie Brasco and reality. One of the things that they had that I was just, dude, I don't know how this wasn't in the film, but apparently while he was undercover, Donnie Brasco's wife got in a major car wreck and was left partially, for a while, lost her sense of sight and had to breathe using special medical equipment while he's undercover.
Yeah.
And it's not like he can go visit her and take care of her or anything like that.
Right.
Like, he's in it. Like, good luck.
Yeah, and that's a pretty strong piece of the story in this movie too, which, the dynamic between him and his wife and how things are just starting to fall apart because of how involved and how much one life starts to bleed into the other. And knowing that with the medical stuff on the side, that had to be almost impossible not to crack. You know what I mean? Under all that, in some way, shape, or form. So
yeah.
I don't know that I could do it. I always fantasize like I would love to be James Bond, basically. Like I want to be a secret agent and do cool shit.
Right.
But in reality, it's like my ethics and values would start to crack or crumble. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if I could do that. So yeah,
for sure. And we'll get into what we would do with the franchise, after our break. But I did want to get over to also some high and low scores on Rotten Tomatoes. I've got some. So I'll start first with the 5-star review. We got a 5-star review from Jeff W., who says, "A true masterpiece of the genre. Here's a film that not only knew what it was, but what you wanted from it, but also skillful enough to surprise you with extra layers and deeper thought throughout the subject matter." He's got much more about that, but basically he loved this movie.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, Jeff. I agree with you. It's a great film. However, the 1-star review from Max M.
Let's go, Max.
I'll just read it to you. It's fantastic.
Let's go, Max.
Depp and Pacino provide stellar performances, but other than that, forget about it.
Bruh.
Right? I knew you would love that.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, that is a great 1-star review.
I had in my notes to throw in a forget about it at some point during this conversation, but I think we'll just give it to Max on his 1-star.
Yeah, Max got it.
His 1-star review is 5 stars in my heart.
Right?
Right.
And they do in this movie a great breakdown of what "forget about it" means.
Oh, dude,
It's
that's
fantastic.
That's one of the best scenes in the film too. I really like that. It's like Paul Giamatti's asking him
it's just
what it means or something.
Background character, and it's Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, which is another hallmark of like how much I loved the casting job in this. We'll get into my thoughts on it after the break.
In there too.
I know it's absurd. Like everywhere
both
you turn,
of them are just background characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Everywhere you turn, there's hitters. So that made this one a lot of fun and kind of difficult to reimagine, which we'll get into after the break. Okay, any other context that we need to share about this film? Setting, time, place, money, reviews, anything else we need to know pre-break?
No, I think we're good. We did learn that in real life, it did take Joe Patone, Donnie Brasco, a lot longer to infiltrate the crime family.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he would hang out at bars and restaurants that they would go to, and he hung out there for just 6 months.
Yeah,
just to be seen
Right.
before he could even approach them and talk to them. So this guy really worked hard to get into this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think they undersold that a little bit based on factual events, but again, they're gonna try and hit that Hollywood time marker, post at it to get the final film out, right? But yeah,
Right.
That's pretty nuts. It's a long time to scout that. So,
oh yeah,
yeah.
he had to, and even before that, like his cover was that he was a jewel thief, so he had to learn gemology.
Yeah, that was the part that I thought was super interesting. Was like, you know, in a lifetime ago in real life for me, I also had to learn jewelry trade and stuff for part of the work that I was doing. It is not easy to do, and if you suffer from a form of color blindness like your boy does, it's even harder.
Right.
So
yeah,
but yeah, that is impressive. I mean, obviously, like that's a very serious thing. The FBI is trying to take the organized crime down, so you got to really commit to it. But yeah, that's what a tremendous amount of pressure this guy went through, huh?
Yeah,
Just
and then
the
like they were saying that Joe Patone is originally from like New Jersey and grew up with a lot of this culture is what they said. So like there was no one better suited to infiltrate this crime family than him, because not only did he look the part, but he could speak the part and the slang and knew the culture and all that. So
I think the way they set that up in The Departed too with Leo's character was pretty spot on. It's like, oh, okay, that's why you're recruited. I get it. You know, you can walk and talk the talk. So
right.
Awesome.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's take a break and then we'll come back with what we would do with the franchise.
We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Movie Leftovers. Obviously, we're going to continue on with Donnie Brasco. Real quick PSA for anyone listening or watching. We're going to take this show live pretty soon. We're working out some bugs. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. We're going to be on a bunch of platforms. And since we don't know exactly which ones yet, we'll hold that big announcement. But do know that we're just a few shows away from actually going live. So if you want to hang out with us, you can find us on a streaming platform. Come say hi. Talk to us about your thoughts on the movie. And follow along, because pretty soon you'll be able to know what we're going to watch in advance.
Exactly, so they can watch with us. So Donnie Brasco, this was a tough nut to crack as far as what would you do with the franchise. Why don't you start with yours? Because I started first last time.
Man. Okay, buddy. So based on real events, so let's fuck with stuff. Okay,
let's do it.
This is going to be a rework, and we're going to change the story at the lion scene. All right. So Mike Madsen's character brings Pacino's character to give him a lion, right? In the right.
Oh God, when they're feeding it the lion hamburgers.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So lion scene. There's very similar dialogue. Sonny Black turns around and shoots Lefty in the chest. He is there to get whacked. Not to receive a gift, okay? Donnie hears this out at the car and takes off in a panic. But as he's going through like what the repercussions of having to reset this FBI investigation would look like, he circles the block and comes back. So they leave him there for dead, thinking that they've whacked Lefty. He drags him into the car and then takes him to the hospital and pretty much checks him in a panic.
Real quick, would you be remaking this film then and
I'd
just
be
making it a little
remaking
bit
this
different?
film. Yep.
Okay.
Full rework. Yep.
Okay.
So drops him at the hospital. Donnie then goes to his apartment and the door gets basically busted down, knocking by some thugs. It's Sonny Red's crew looking for Lefty. Okay. Right. So Donnie thinks that they're there to kill him. They take Donnie out to Sonny Red. Sonny Red finds out that Sonny Black took it upon himself to whack Lefty because he's trying to take over way earlier than he attempted post the Miami scene.
We should kind of explain a little bit real quick for people who didn't watch the film. The way the crime family is structured is there's the head of the family, and then it seems like there's two branches, and each branch is run by a different Sonny Red, Sonny Black. Those are the direct lieutenants. And then from there, there's like little subgroups.
Right.
And Donnie is in one of the subgroups.
Which is assigned to basically the capo, which would be the lieutenant piece. And this is one among 5 crime families that are prevalent in New York at this point in time.
Correct.
Right. So, but Sonny Red is kind of like the elder statesman kind of lead boss, right? So he finds out Sonny Black took it upon himself to whack Lefty because he's trying to take over earlier than the whole Miami bit. starts rallying for war and tells Donnie to take a stand. If he's family, he goes to war with the family. So he gets drug in, and Lefty survives. Okay, so this is going to be like a bunch of bloodshed. Toward the end of it, we start to settle in. The FBI still kind of has almost the same story arc behind it. Him and the wife, same story arc behind it. He's just drug into violence much sooner. And the Sonnies are pitted against each other, so they're starting to eat each other from the inside out in a bit of a different way. At the end of it, Lefty actually kills Sonny, Red, and then Lefty becomes sort of the capo, but there's almost no crew left. So it was like, it was still all for naught. You know what I mean? There's like, what's he running now? And then the FBI takes him down. So I would have reworked the story to just make it a little more dramatic, a lot faster. I think the pacing of this film was fine. And again, let me reiterate, like, the casting was done perfectly well. But let's get into my cast.
Okay.
Lefty, Chaz Palminteri.
Ooh, I like that.
Lefty's kid, who's going to have a few more scenes and some drug addict stuff. How about Remy Malek? Give me Remy Malek for Lefty's kid.
Oh, okay. That's good. Yeah.
Lefty's wife, Katie Siegel, from Sons of Anarchy, the main mom in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. Peggy Bundy.
Yep. Joe Pistone or Donnie Brasco. I give you Barry Pepper.
Oh. Yeah.
I think Barry Pepper would be fucking perfect at that. And then for Sonny Red, Joey Pantoliano. Give me some Joey Pants.
Okay.
And then that's it. Sonny Black, Giovanni Ribisi, the psycho Sonny Black. Now, Michael Madsen's perfect for that role, but I think Giovanni Ribisi would be a lot of fun to watch as Sonny Black.
Cool, and it'd be nice to change it up.
Yeah. So that would be my cast in a rework for this. Now, the disclaimer, I love the cast the way it is. Pacino's fucking brilliant in this. Depp does an awesome job, but I was like, if I'm just going to hit the reset button, I'm going to hit the reset button. So that'd be my cast for a more violent, much sooner story arc. That would be a reshoot rework of Donnie Brasco. What do you got?
I like that. I like your idea. So you would still make it a film, right?
Oh yeah, it'd still be a film.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. I think if you were to do this as a series, you probably have a lot more character development and material to work with, but you gotta nail the cast, right? Because you'd have, a whole season of what the mafia is doing and what Donnie Brasco's doing to try and get into the mafia. And then a whole season. So I think you could do that. I like this as a film. I think I would just sprinkle some Tarantino violence and turn that up to 11 much sooner than they did. But I gotta say, my hat's off to the casting director on this film. It's damn perfect how it is. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I also hit the reset button just as you did, but I think I may have hit it a little bit harder than you.
Sure.
Because, I want to go a completely different cast, but I want it to feel something comfortable, something memorable, something different, something you wouldn't normally see, right? So I would introduce to you Donnie Brasco Muppets, with Kermit the Frog as Donnie Brasco, Miss Piggy as his wife, Gonzo as Lefty, Ralph the dog as Sonny Black.
Let's go. Let's go.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I wouldn't really do that. But that popped in my head as I was watching that, and I couldn't get it out of my head, so I had to say it.
That's awesome. One of the thugs is just Snuffleupagus or something.
Yeah.
Bring some Sesame Street guys in there. Nice.
Exactly. You can throw Oscar the Grouch just on a street corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. For real, I would do a series.
Okay.
I would do a streaming Netflix style series. I would probably do 6 to 8 episodes. First episode would be the backstory of Joe Patone training, learning gemology. I would end the first episode with him getting the introduction into the crime family.
Sure.
Like that he's been at the bars, he's been being seen, those sorts of things. Then each episode from there, I would have a different, like maybe for the first 3 or 4 episodes, I would focus on a different head key member of the crime family, like specifically giving them an episode, like what is their function in the crime family?
Right.
What are they, their function, their background, just so we know the players,
That's
right?
a piece that was
So
missing from the film, right? Is the mechanics of what each of these folks are doing. And I think the way you're describing it sounds a lot more like The Sopranos, where each member of the family gets a little bit of, you can connect to them in some way, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I would do. So you're about like at that point, you're about halfway through the series,
Sure.
and then is really the struggle for Donnie Brasco's family, the actual investigation, all of that.
Yeah.
From there on out.
Yeah, I think in the season arc, when you hit that climactic point or the second stanza before starting to work toward the end of the season, you can have all kinds of crazy events. This is a mafia story, right? So pretty much anything can trigger or trip the remaining events. I like
have
where
his
you're
wife's
going.
accident.
Yeah, exactly. I like where you're going. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Last episode would of course be the downfall of the family, Donnie Brasco coming in, and then a little bit about what his life is like, because the dude had to go in witness protection for a while or something like that.
Still is, isn't he?
I mean, if he's doing podcasts and everything,
maybe not. He's not as wit-sec as he once was, but yeah.
Right. But him and his family changed their names a lot and moved around a lot. So yeah, I would show a little bit of that, show him a little bit of him looking over his shoulder all the time, that kind of thing. Definitely. If Joe Patone, he's still with us, right? He's still around.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe have a little bit of him at the end of it, talking about it, before you end the series, or maybe even do a recap show at the end, and that bonus content, and have him there talking to the actors and talking to that kind of thing. As far as casting for a streaming show, they tend to get no-name actors or lesser known name actors.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I would default to that. I wouldn't handpick anyone specifically. If anything, maybe I would pick one really good, known actor for Lefty.
Yeah,
but
just anchor it with somebody known.
Yeah, but I don't know who that would be. I mean, the first name that pops in my head, just because I think it could be interesting, is John Travolta.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think John Travolta's played the same guy in every film since Swordfish, though. So I wonder how that would look and feel. But he's about the right age, and he's got the chops. He's just got to show it.
Yeah, it's been a while since he showed it. So
right.
I think it would be good for him. I think it would be an interesting role. Plus, I think it'd be good for people to see him in a different light. You know.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, my director would be Paul Thomas Anderson, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Mine would be Wes Anderson.
No. Yeah, dude, so get some Bill Murray in there. Get some
Edward Norton.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. We'll get Jason Schwartzman up in there. It'll be great.
See, Norton almost makes sense in your series, though.
Oh yeah, he would.
That would be a fun casting choice. Who would you cast Edward Norton as?
I mean, he's too old to be Donnie at this point, because Donnie's supposed to be like fairly fresh from the academy.
Maybe he's like the principal FBI contact in the series for Donnie Brasco or something. Like if you watch the way he plays that role in one of the Bourne movies, I think it's the one that has to do with the Hawkeye guy in it. He does pretty good as the There
was something in
FBI
real life
guy.
about how Lefty had some sort of like selling stolen cars or something like that in Milwaukee. So maybe I would put him there as like maybe the Milwaukee contact.
Sure.
Just because I don't think you're going to get Edward Norton for a long part in this, but maybe one episode that he pops up.
He's somewhere in Milwaukee or in Florida or someplace like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, but that's what I would do. I would definitely do a series with this. Now, there is, okay, let's say the series is successful, or like your film idea.
Yeah.
What do you do with it? Because it's a real life story. Like it's kind of one and done. There is precedent for a real life story then to be turned into a franchise and then just kind of like gone fictionalized from there. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Death Wish series. The original one with Charles Bronson. They did a remake a few years ago with Bruce Willis, Death Wish. There was like Death Wish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even know how many.
Yeah.
But the original one was based on a true story. And then from there, they just went with it. Same with like Walking Tall.
I think like, if you look at a show like Sons of Anarchy that spins off and has the Mayans, that now has their own show and stuff, it makes a lot of sense because it's a similar story through a different lens with the same premise and idea and concept. I wonder if you could franchise it out with like, what I would love to know is a dramatized version of what life is like for mafia members behind bars a little bit. And then you have a prison setting for most of the series with the inside outside contacts, and you can see how things are starting to crumble and fall apart or whatever the case may be. That would be like a cool, in the ethos of Donnie Brasco, like continuation. But outside of that, it would be tough because like he can't really talk about his story other than how excited would you be watching somebody change their name and move 100 times while they're in WITSEC for a series 2, right?
You could do other undercover stories.
That's where I was going to go with that, was like,
Yeah.
now you go back to the FBI and look at another undercover story. Maybe even the same team that ran the Donnie Brasco stuff,
Or you use FBI equivalents in other countries, right? Like there's got to be like an undercover Yakuza story or an undercover, whatever other crime syndicates around the world. In Mexico, the federales with the narcos and all that, something like that.
Well, that kind of exists now, doesn't it? Aren't there
Yeah, I
shows
mean,
that-
Narcos.
Yeah.
But this would be specific to this franchise and maybe lesser known stories, or that could be pretty interesting.
I think so. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a series is good. I don't know that I would do anything after if I made this movie, if I would do anything else with this scene and setting because it was a movie and it closed the way that it did. Maybe.
Right.
But series, I think you open up for a lot more lateral movement and flexibility with stuff like that. And obviously, I think the revenue generating potential is much, much higher on that now. Just the way
for sure.
distribution works and all that. And
yeah, for sure.
No, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too. I'm. Seems like a lot of fun. So everyone, we'll put up a poll, and you guys can vote which you like better, Angel's film or my series. Donnie Brasco Muppets.
Donnie Brasco Muppets. Yeah. Donnie Brasco goes to space. No. I think that's awesome. Yeah. So this one was a little tough just because it's a real life events, right?
Right.
So I think if it was a completely fictionalized story, I probably would have like really jacked it up, but I like it.
Me too.
Yeah. Good job by you, buddy.
We should say our next episode.
Oh, I can't wait for this, dude.
This will be, we're going to take a hard turn and do something very serious, something very, very deep in, Oscar absolutely snubbed for the Oscar in 2011. We will be reviewing and then figuring out what to do with the franchise of Planet of the Vampire Women.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So
I can even talk with a straight fucking face, dude. Planet of the Vampire Women.
Yeah, that's a real movie. For those of you who want to play at home, it's on Tubi. Tubi's a free streaming service, so go ahead and enjoy and watch Planet of the Vampire Women.
It's going to be great. I think we're going to try like hell to bring on a guest. Can you talk a little bit about that? Someone's going to join us for...
Yeah, a friend of mine, Tyler Wilson. He's a... I don't know if he still is, but I know for a long time he was the film critic for the local newspaper in my town.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun. He also does host a film podcast, and I'm sure he'll tell us all about that as well. But yeah, it'll be very exciting to have Tyler on, and he's very excited about the film. I thought I was gonna have to twist his arm about it, but
really?
No. Yeah, no. Tyler was more than happy to talk about Planet of the Vampire Women.
This is awesome. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for showing up to be part of the show with us as we go live, which is exciting. And then I think as you're listening to this, we're also still working on how you can get in touch with us too. So full emails and socials, everything's coming soon. We're very excited. This is show 2, Donnie Brasco, movie leftovers. Anything else? Do we forget anything? We get it?
No, that's it. Thanks to everybody for listening. By the time this comes out, Planet of the Vampire Women will also be posted along with it. So hopefully you enjoy that show as well.
Yeah, check it out. And I can't wait to meet our new guest and talk about Planet of the Vampire Women as we go. All right, buddy. Well, I guess that's going to call it for today, eh?
Yeah, sounds good. Have a good night. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
All right. Take it easy.